It still amazes me at the number of times I've witnessed tears from job seekers who share with me just how toxic their current work environment is and how it's affecting their job satisfaction. But in the same breath, they also share the one factor that keeps them on that job, and that's the fear of leaving and going to a new job that's just as toxic. This one fear keeps a lot of people in roles and in companies way too long. So in today's video, I'm going to give you career advice in 3 steps that I typically share with my clients to help them to evaluate a work environment before they accept the job offer. This video will help you to lose that fear of leaving your current employer because you're worried that the new work environment will be just as toxic. But make sure that you stick around all the way through to the very end, because after these 3 steps, there's a bonus tip for you. Let's get started. I believe that you should be just as intentional about selecting a new work environment where you can show up as your best self, because it's your very best self that keeps getting you to that next level. Step number 1, be clear on what the ideal work environment looks like for you. Now, we say that we want to work in a good work environment, but we don't know for ourselves what that even means. What we are very clear on is what we don't wish to ever experience again. We can easily list that with no issue. What I want you to move toward is clarity on what a good environment means for you. This is a very personal question, and it's likely that the answer is going to differ from person to person to person. And I even want you to make a list. Do you feel a sense of belonging? Is it teamwork? Is it flexibility that you're looking for? Is it good leadership? What is it? When we don't know what we're looking for, it's likely that we aren't able to ask the right questions to evaluate whether the next company actually offers it. All right, so you have step number 1. Step number 2, I want you to envision outcomes. So the important question is, how will you know when you're there? In other words, unpack that wish list. Now, let's say that your ideal work environment gives you a sense of belonging and inclusion from step number 1. Okay, well, what exactly is happening on that job that you know that you feel like you belong or you're being included? Go deeper, right? What's happening on the job that makes you feel like you can do your best work there? Is it that you now have a voice? Are your opinions respected? Do your suggestions get implemented? What's happening on the job to make you feel like you belong? This is what I consider unpacking a statement so that you can get a better sense of the core of your desire. Wait, now, are you enjoying this video so far? Then let me know so I can keep creating content just like this for you. I'm obsessed with creating content that's value added for you and your particular experience. So you want to know how to let me know this? Then give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Step 3, now build questions around the behaviors and actions that you listed in number 2. Where most people go wrong is in 2 areas. First, they will either go to an interview and ask no questions about the environment, or they will go to an interview and ask generic questions about inclusion and belonging, like the earlier example. Something like, do you help your employees feel included? And then that hiring manager says, absolutely. And then you get there and you don't feel like you have a voice, and you don't feel like you're even heard. So now what I want you to do is ask differently. So using that same example, ask the manager, what do you do to help your employees feel heard, or that their ideas and recommendations are valued on the team? Do you see the difference now? So the first step is in you being clear for yourself, and the next step is in asking clear questions to the employer. Now you're going to get the real answers to the questions that are meaningful to you, and you can better decide whether or not this is an environment in which you would want to work. But here's the element that I want to be sure you did not miss. You must be willing to ask questions to hiring managers to during the interview. So many people go to interviews and they think that they're not supposed to ask any questions. But how else are you actually going to evaluate whether that employer or the work environment is for you without asking them questions about things that matter the most to you? So join me in the comments below. Give me an example of a better way that you're now going to phrase your question that's going to help you to evaluate your work environment. Yeah, that's right. Go down to the comments below and tell me there. Now, because you stuck around to the very end, here's the free bonus tip for you. I know that somebody needs to hear this, so I'm just going to say it. Not only do you have the right to evaluate an employer as much as they have the right to evaluate you, but also if you find that the work environment isn't aligned with what's most important to you, you always have the right to decline the job offer and to continue looking for a work environment where you actually feel you can work in a healthy workplace environment and be your best self. So don't turn your head away from red flags during the interview, or you're likely to experience them once you start working there. Not every good job offer will be good for you. If you're watching this video, odds are you're on your job search. And if you liked this video, then I also want you to check out one of my top 5 most popular videos, which is Signs of a Poor Manager, or 10 Bad Manager Traits that I want you to know about. Your link is in the description below. I'm Jen Tardy. I'm your career success coach. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.